Welcome back to Alpine Garage Sports, folks. My name is Chris. We're in the garage here and talking about a lot of things, actually, college football. We normally talk about CU bus football. Today, we're going to talk about the Arizona State University Sun Devils. And the reason why we are is because they are not only in the Pac-12 with us now, we're playing them this year, but they're also moving with us to the Big 12 next year, and we will likely be still playing them. And they have a notable coaching change this year to Kenny Dillingham from Oregon came over and is basically going to rebuild this ASU program. During the offseason, they picked up the most desired quarterback out there, which is Jaden Rashada. And it surprised a lot of people. And then you had the whole Jaden Rashada, leaving the University of Florida because of an NIL deal gone bad. And there's just been a lot of drama around ASU. And then you have the AD and the president and all of the stuff that's going on there with their move to the Big 12. Were they coming? Were they not? Did they want to? It's just been, ASU's kind of been in the news a lot lately for a lot of reasons. So that said, they're still in the news because it was just announced that ASU put a self-imposed bowl ban on themselves this year, so they will not be going to a bowl. Now, this extends from an investigation that's going on right now to ASU for some recruiting violations that happened during COVID. And what I've read is that they allowed like 30-plus player visits during a dead period during COVID. So because of that, there's going to be some fallout. And it seems like Arizona State University is going to self-impose this bowl ban as kind of a mediation with the NCAA to try to keep from anything bigger happening, I guess, something like that. But apparently it was a surprise to the football team because they just announced it. And obviously, Jaden Rashada probably didn't know that this was going to happen, or he might have had second thoughts about going there, and so forth and so on. Also, Kenny Dillingham, same thing. But everybody knew that there was an investigation going on. So everybody knew at that point that likely something was going to come out of it. And a bowl ban is, a likely punishment, I guess. And the fact that they self-imposed it is kind of interesting. So that said, Kenny Dillingham came out and talked about it yesterday and said that obviously the players are not super happy about this. He obviously isn't either. It was a surprise to everybody that they're going into practice that day. And, the practice was not expected to be very good from the standpoint of there's going to be a lot of disappointment with the young men that are going to be practicing on that field, knowing that, there's no potential for a bowl this year. So the reason why I bring that up, not only because they're part of our Pac-12 partnership and because we're playing them this year, but it's just incredibly heartbreaking when you're thinking about the student athletes and really even the coaches that came on to ASU. I don't know that any of these people had anything to do with the issues that they're being punished for now. Obviously, Herm Edwards was the coach before Kenny Dillingham, and this happened under Herm Edwards' watch. So the fact that ASU or the NCAA in combination are punishing this year's coaches and players is incredibly heartbreaking. And that's just the way things are in the NCAA. I mean, it's the new players that have to pay for the sins of the old coaches in a lot of cases, or sometimes even the old players. But in this particular case, you've got a whole lot of seniors on. I went through and counted them. I lost count. How many seniors are on this roster? And essentially, there is no chance for them to go to a bowl game before they graduate and become a grad transfer or graduate and do something else. So they've lost that. Plus, you also have quite a few graduates that are in there that this may be their last year to play as well. Now, here are the questions that are brought up about this. The first one is, I don't think that there's an NCAA rule out there about something like this happening where the school self-imposes a bowl ban and is there any repercussions for people transferring out of that university? I would probably say no, there's not. Most of the guidelines for the NCAA on transfers, especially the grads, is that it has to be during the same, they have to essentially be able to enroll in the school. Now, this is when most school is in session this week, but maybe there is a grace period. I don't know. Now, grad transfers, same thing. Grad transfers can transfer anytime, but I think it also has to do with the enrollment timeline. So if they can't enroll, if they can't leave ASU, for instance, and come here, and if CU will not allow them to enroll or enroll late, then they can't transfer. If they can, then maybe they could. So, for instance, there's guys like graduate Emmett Bowl, who is 6'7", 300-pound defensive lineman, defensive tackle. Obviously, we could pick up somebody like that if they could instantly transfer. We've already picked up somebody from ASU. Obviously, they kicked him off the team, Juju Mitchell, and we picked him up. He was a graduate, so he could transfer. So could, for instance, and I'm just using this as an example, Emmett Bowl come also 6'7", 300 pounds, guys. I mean, just needs a little bit of coaching and could be a great backup in our system here. Can he still transfer? Would the University of Colorado allow him to enroll late in order to transfer over here? These are all questions that are out there. How can a school self-impose a bowl ban the week before games start? You know, that it's odd timing as far as I'm concerned. You would think that this would have happened a month ago, you know, or maybe even wait until the middle of the season and say we're going to do it in 24. The only thing I can think is that they're like, you know what, this is our first rebuilding year under Kenny Dillingham. Maybe we ought to just initiate the bowl ban, get it done within our first year. We still have Jaden Rashada as a freshman, essentially, so he'll grow just like everybody else will. We're going to lose seniors, but we still have a fairly young team, and we still have a lot of recruits that then we'll find out that we will be bowl eligible next year if they are. I mean, who knows, the NCAA might do something else. I have no idea. I mean, there's just so many questions that aren't answered right now, but I wanted to throw this out to you guys because obviously we are not, as University of Colorado, not in this, don't have this issue, nor will we have this issue. But it's just, you know, tell me about your feelings about what you think about these young men that are now basically right on the cusp of starting a new season and finding out that they're not going to a bowl, okay? Predominantly seniors that are probably the most, and Jaden Rashada and any of those other recruits that came in this year that thought, hey, we have Kenny Dillingham, we have Jaden Rashada, maybe we might make a run for a major bowl this year. No, you could have a good season and you could even win a Pac-12 championship, but you're not going to a bowl. So how does that affect you as a student athlete? Let me know down in the comments. Also, any of those other questions I brought up, you know, is it right for the school to do that right before the season starts? You know, should students be able to transfer out if they want to? Obviously, graduate students can transfer at any time. Should the University of Colorado be able to accept those as a late enrollee, if that indeed is a late enrollee? Lots of questions to answer. Please throw them down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this issue, and we will see you in the next video. If you haven't already heard, we coming.